Welcome to the In My 30s podcast, episode number 3 with Stacey Kelleher.
Hello.
Yay. Did I say your last name right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
You did.
That was
You crushed it.
Yay. Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So you're my first guest that's not in their 30s, which, how do you feel about that?
I feel honored.
You actually didn't even say, did you know the name of it?
I did know the name
But
of
you
it.
didn't care. Okay, good. I like that.
I was like, cool. Okay.
I love that. You know what I just realized?
What?
There we go.
Yeah, nice.
Okay. This is very pro. Very pro here.
In my 30s.
You've been very patient with me. I hope I didn't waste too much of your time.
No, not at all.
I had some technical difficulties, as I usually do. Yeah, it always takes me like 30 minutes longer to get this ready.
Yeah.
And I even started last night and still was not. I start my morning and I get into things and then I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta film stuff today.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff to set up, so you're killing it.
So Stacey is a singer-songwriter, indie, Berklee College of Music grad. Mm-hmm. And we met at a gig, changeover for a gig at the Dream.
Yes.
We both play for the same company. They book us. And what did you mention to me that we had already met or something?
I think I was like, oh my gosh, you're Emma White, right? And you were like, yeah. And I was like, I saw you on the Berklee Nashville trip, I think 8 years ago.
That's insane.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Was that 8 years ago?
It was either 8 years ago or 6 years ago.
Between 6 and 8, yeah.
Yeah, because I went on the Berklee Nashville trip in 2017 and 2019.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember seeing you and I was like, oh my gosh, literally me and all my friends were like, you're so cool. And we loved your music.
So
the
Berklee Nashville trip that's been going on forever. And we both went to Berklee. And I feel like in Nashville, sometimes I feel like I can't say I went to Berklee because it's not Belmont. And then if you say Berklee, people judge you. They think you think you're too cool or something. And so I'm just like, oh, I went to music school. And then if they ask where, I say, but people have they can have an attitude about Berklee.
For sure. It definitely has a reputation that precedes it, I feel like.
But it was awesome. It was my dream school. Now I feel like I can't talk about it. But.
Same. You know what is funny?
But yeah, so every year they go on this spring trip to Nashville. And is it you just opt in or I forget how it works. But
yeah, I mean, it's been going on for so long that they've changed the, I think it used to be you had to line up at the BPC, the Berklee Performance Center box office to get a ticket.
Yeah.
And then obviously everything went online in more recent years. And then I think you just had to be online at a certain time to try to get a spot. And it got so popular that it would sell out. And you wouldn't be able to get a spot if you weren't online. It's like Ticketmaster. You have to be online at the right time and be ready to check out or you wouldn't get it.
So, okay. So I was, the trip that you went on, I was talking at Warner.
Yeah, for a big trip.
It was a big trip. It was me.
It's a big deal.
And an agent and then another artist. That was really fun to do. But it was just so funny because I was in front of a mic talking at Warner, I know anything, and in a building that I emailed those people my music, and it was just funny that I was on the other side of it.
Yeah.
But it was so fun to talk to you guys, and I remember saying to you oh, didn't I say some weird stuff to you? But you didn't remember, so that was good.
I don't remember. I think I probably just came up to you and I was like, oh my gosh, you're so cool. I love your music.
You guys were so fun and sweet. Yeah, I love doing that stuff. I want to do it more. I haven't done another Berklee trip since then. But did you know when you were on the Berklee trip, were you I'm moving to Nashville?
So yes, the first one was 2017, and that was my sophomore year, my 4th semester, as we say at Berklee. But I remember I was like, oh my gosh, I totally want to go and check it out. And I loved it.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to drop out and move right now, which obviously I didn't do that.
Yeah.
But a couple years later, I think it was the summer before my senior year, I did like a little internship thing in LA because, you know, everybody's like, I'm moving to LA.
That was
graduate.
somewhere that I definitely considered and wanted to go.
Yeah, same. Yeah. But I did a summer there, and I think I like was trying to tell myself that I liked it.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, I was like, I was not happy. I was broke because it's so expensive to live in LA. And I definitely like having seasons, and it was just so hot the whole time. And so that's why I went on the trip again, which I think it was that one.
Oh,
I think it was that one in 2019.
So you went again because you were like, I need to check. Yeah.
I was like, I need to make sure Nashville is still cool, which is so dumb to think about in hindsight.
Yeah. I mean, I was not open to the idea whatsoever. I was like, I'm never going to live in the South. And it's so funny because, and my whole family, they're shocked that I still live here. And I'm like, yeah, I just fell in love with it. Like, I can't explain it. But yeah, at first I was just, especially coming from Boston and like Maryland, you're from New Hampshire. Like, it's a different place, but it is the most, I would say, northern-like city in the South.
Totally. Yeah. I agree. I feel like sometimes even if I'm like driving out to like Franklin or like, I don't know, like even in like Brentwood, some spots that are like kind of removed, I'm like, I could be in New England right now. Like, if I close my eyes and
like especially, not to lead into your single, but when you're in Germantown, I feel like that has some Boston vibes.
Yeah, Boston, even like New York.
Yeah.
It's very similar.
So for anyone that doesn't know Germantown, it's a neighborhood in Nashville. And Stacey just released a single called I Hate Germantown.
Yes.
And so I didn't even mean to lead into that, but
that was really good.
That just came out, right?
That's perfect. Yeah. So it just came out. I just released like a stripped version of it.
Okay.
And I released the like original. Wow. A year ago yesterday, I think. Oh. That's crazy.
Okay.
I am just now realizing that.
So I only listened to the stripped one. And I was looking for another version, but I didn't see it. So I need to get on there again.
So I released the original version almost exactly a year ago. That's wild. I didn't even know that. And I didn't really expect for it to like resonate with people so much. I feel like that was the first song that I put out that people were like coming up to me and they were like, I hate Germantown. Like, I have an ex that lives there, like whatever. Yeah. And like, it was also the first song that like, when I played shows, like people like knew the words and were like screaming the lyrics along, which had never happened to me before. Yeah. And I also like, before I put it out, I was like, is this too specific? Like, are people going to understand? Yeah. Cause like, obviously if you don't live in Nashville, like you don't know like some of the really specific references in it. But that never happened. And like, even like fans that don't live here, like started reaching out and I was like, oh wow. Like I have never had like a song like resonate that much.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Thanks.
So did it resonate through like a viral video or like, how did you recognize like, oh, people are connecting?
It was literally just like people coming up to me or like DMing me or like just the vibe in the room. Like when I play it at writers rounds, like everybody would be like harmonizing and singing along and it would be so quiet. And
only
like,
in Nashville are people harmonizing from the audience.
Right.
That's so
no,
funny.
Literally. But I was like, dang, like I don't know. Like I really thought it was too specific to be something, but I was like, you know, like this song means so much to me. Yeah. I really want to put it out. I'm really proud of it. And yeah, it was just from like literally like in person, like conversations and just messages and
so cool.
Yeah. Thanks.
There's like, that's all you want. Like sometimes I'll be, cause we play at the same venues, you and I, and like, sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm going to sing songs, you know, and then some songs you don't know, which I wrote. And I always think about, gosh, wouldn't it be cool? Like, what is that like? And I try to picture it. Like if people knew my song. Yeah. Because they like perk up when they know a song. It's just how it goes. You could be singing the most like Nashville, like almost cliche song and you kind of roll your eyes, but then people love it and you got to do what they love. So that's really cool that you have a song that people would like recognize and be into. That's a good feeling.
Thanks. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it is all my friends that are always at my shows, but even still, like it's like they know like the verses and like the bridge and like the one different line, like in the last chord, like it's all the like little small things. And I'm like, oh, like you guys are actually listening to this.
That's so cool. So I love that.
Yeah, it's really sweet.
So are your friends a mix of like Berklee friends that moved here or like friends you met here just through doing music?
I feel like now there's definitely still like a few like Berklee people, but I feel like now it's either like you, like people that I met that I'm like, oh, wait, you went to Berklee too? Oh my God, cool.
100%.
Didn't know you at all when we were there. Or it's just like people that I met here through like the music scene. Or even like I have some friends that aren't in music at all, which is kind of nice.
But that's nice. How do you meet them? Where do you go?
I mean, like even just at like coffee shops or like just like randomly at shows and like they are in like a totally different business, which is cool. But most of my friends are in music exactly.
Totally. But, I think like I gravitate toward music people because, but I feel like as an adult, it's almost like if you're in a city away from your family, it seems like work and friendship kind of goes hand in hand, but it also doesn't work out that well. Because when you think about it, it's like you can't be like super buddy with people that you are employed by or that you employ or so it's like kind of that's good that you have friends outside of it. I have only music friends, so I need to find some friends outside of music. I mean, I guess I have a few that aren't, but
it's hard. Especially here because like everyone does music. I know. It's crazy.
I know. So you released I Hate Germantown. Stripped and regular version, full band? Or just tracks or?
The regular version is definitely more like full band vibes because there's like.
Did you track it with a band?
Kind of. We kind of tracked everything separately, but like there's live drums, there's live piano. There's a ton of live vocals, live guitar, stuff like that. We kind of did it all like separately. But then the stripped one, it's really just like, there's not even that many tracks. I think it's me playing piano, my vocals, my background vocals. There's pedal steel in this one, which my friend Neil Jones did. He's amazing. And I think there's some guitar, there's some bass, and that's like it.
So did you write this solo or did you co-write it with someone?
I co-wrote it. I co-wrote it on a writer's retreat about 1.5 years ago. So my friends run this little organization. It's called Studio Rats.
Oh, cute.
It's my friends Carly Metzger and Grant Edwards. They're married. They just had a baby. They're literally the best. And they have a writer's round here in town called Bolos and Booze. Have you played it before?
No.
You should play it.
I haven't heard of it. Where is it?
They just moved to the Tin Roof Demumbrian. Which we love. We love the Tin Roof. You should play it. Definitely. We'll do that. later.
And we need to write. We
need to write.
We
I
meant
know.
to, but
we have so
you
many
went
things.
on tour and we'll get into that, but
but so they run like a writer's retreat that they do, I think twice a year. And so I went November 2023, right before my birthday. And so I wrote the whole Germantown lore happened like right before the retreat, which sucked, but also it was like, this is perfect because I have a writer's retreat. I have content, like amazing. So I wrote it.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, exactly.
For my heart to break or whatever happened.
So I had like the title in my mind, but I wrote it with my friends, Chandler Brown and Leah Colin and Savannah Walters. And we just kind of wrote it in this cute little house, like an hour out of Nashville. And there was a real piano there, which was awesome. So we got to write it to piano, which I don't always do. And I mean, probably wrote it in maybe like an hour.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, and what is the background of the song, just for people who haven't listened to it?
So basically, I had that title in my mind because I had been seeing this guy and he was a lot younger than me. Not a lot. He was younger. Not a lot younger, but at the time I think I was 20, it was 2 years ago. So I would have been 25. And I think he was 22, which that's not a lot younger, but I feel like in terms of like emotional development and maturity, that's a lot younger. But I'd been seeing him because he actually worked at one of the venues that we play at, which I won't say which one.
Okay.
I'll tell you later.
Okay. Now I'm going to be looking out.
But he doesn't work there anymore, thank God.
Oh, okay.
But basically, I kind of like ended up getting his number, and he asked me out, and like we went on like a bunch of dates. Like we were seeing each other for like maybe a month or two.
Okay.
Like it was not like it was like a 1-time or 2-time date thing.
Yeah.
And basically, he invited me to Mother's Ruin, which is this bar in Germantown, for those who don't know. Great bar. And he invited me there for like their Halloween weekend thing. And like multiple times, he was like, I'm going to go, like, you should come, we can hang out, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, sick, let's do it. So I go, and thank God, I had a friend in town, and I brought her because she was with me, and I was like, just come with me. And I show up, and this kid is talking to like 2 other girls in the bar. And so I like walk up to him. He like barely acknowledges me, barely gives me the time of day. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, you invited me here.
Yeah.
And so I kept trying to talk to him, and he kept like brushing me off, like ignoring me, giving me like 1-word answers, pretending like he didn't know me. So mean. Like, it was just mean.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I have never experienced a guy that I was seeing just being that mean to me.
Like almost like it was intentional.
Yeah. It was like acting like he was too good to speak to me. And I ended up going up to him, and I was like, thanks for not talking to me the whole night. Like, you invited me here. And he was like, no, I didn't. I was like, you did. You invited me here multiple times.
Oh my God.
And I was like, why? Like, you invited me here. And he was like, well, what if I don't want to talk to you? And I was like,
who
all
says
right.
that?
I know.
That's insane. That's an insane thing to say.
I know. It was truly just so mean.
Yeah.
Like, just downright straight up mean.
Yeah.
And so I was like obviously super upset. And then, yeah, the whole situation, just looking back on it, it's just like so weird and mean and strange.
So would you classify that as a situationship?
Totally.
Which I feel like is basically something where you're seeing someone, you haven't yet had the talk of what are we, but you're definitely seeing them.
Yeah.
And you're probably exclusive, honestly.
Yeah.
So it is like a weird, murky thing, because then usually when you have the talk, then it's either over or it's on. But
yep.
I've been in a lot of situationships myself, so I feel your pain.
Yeah.
And also like guys flipping, like their whole, that just happened to me, like their whole demeanor about you, around you changes like overnight, and you're like, wait, what?
You're like, what happened?
Yeah.
It's so weird. I don't understand it. I am like so the type of person that I would rather you be like, hey, like this was fun, but like I'm not into you.
Yeah.
Like, then I can be like, okay, great. I can get closure. We're not right for each other, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
But I guess that doesn't really also make for good songs.
So did you have, if you don't mind me asking, did you have like a follow-up, like, what the heck was that conversation?
I did at the venue where he works, where we both play.
And you were, okay, yeah.
I think it was the next day.
Oh my God.
And because obviously it was Halloween weekend. So this happened over the weekend, and like I play on the weekends. And he did come up to me. Well, actually, no. I texted him because he had some of my stuff. Oh, and I was like, I want my stuff back.
Yeah.
So he brought me my stuff in like a plastic like Target bag.
If he had some of your stuff at his house.
Exactly.
That is not
exactly.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm like, come on. But he came up to me and he apologized. And I was just like, why did you do that? And he was like, I don't know. Da da da. And I later found out that one of my friends who bartends there told him that he should apologize to me.
Okay.
For what he did. So it wasn't even him being like, I should apologize.
Yeah.
Like, it was him being like,
instructed. So he's young and dumb.
Young and so dumb.
I will say it seems like the older guys, like the more I date, and I'm dating older now.
Yep.
Like old, I'm 10 years older than you. So now I'm dating guys either 10 years older or younger.
Yep.
And I do feel like you start to see some emotional development where like they can have a conversation and like pinpoint specific things. But
yes.
I remember my 20s, it was always like someone was in my life and then like they were not. And like it was never discussed like what happened. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like
I'm sorry you're dealing with that.
No, that's okay.
Or you were.
Yeah. I mean, now it's like, honestly, I think it's funny.
Yeah.
Like, because for a while when I was playing that song, I Hate Germantown, like, it was like really hard for me to play it.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't know. I was like reliving the whole entire thing.
I love the title because that's so relatable. Like how relationships and memories like color a place, a neighborhood or a street or like there are certain places. Yeah. Every time I go, it's kind of either tainted by a specific memory or a person. So I love that title. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job with that title.
Thank you.
Okay. So you have like other music coming out, maybe an EP.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have basically, so last year I kind of went crazy, like just recording a ton of songs. And now I think it's 4 songs that are basically like slated for release over the rest of the year. So I did the 2 stripped singles, I Hate Germantown. And before that, I did a stripped version of my single Backwards, which I also put out last year.
Okay.
To kind of like lead into like all my new stuff. And I think the first like new single comes out in either end of June or beginning of July. So pretty soon.
Yay.
And then that's just going to be like a bunch of songs in a row. And I think it'll probably end up turning into some kind of project.
Yeah.
Which will be really cool.
I did that for a while too, just like single. I mean, that's what everyone says to do now because it's such a singles world, market, whatever. So you were just on tour.
I was.
In Europe for how long?
It was a little over 3 months.
It's amazing.
A long time.
So were you in like a Sprinter the whole time or tell me everything.
Yeah. So basically I was playing for this artist called Casey McQuillan. Okay. She's awesome. She's based in New York. She also went to Berklee.
Oh, cool. Was she your year-ish or?
She's in between us. I think she's about 5 years older than me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So she's a little bit older than me, but we have like some mutuals.
Okay.
Which is really cool.
I've never heard that. Some mutuals.
Some mutuals.
I love that. I'm going to take that now.
Yeah. I feel like I always say that. I'm now realizing.
What gen are you?
I'm technically, I think I'm like the end of millennial, but like
beginning of.
I'm like cuspy Gen Z.
Yeah. In my head, you're kind of Gen Z because you're 10 years younger than me. But yeah, I guess you're kind of cusp.
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, that's a good place to be.
I feel like I don't really identify with either.
I'm for sure a millennial. I feel that every day of my life.
Yeah. I feel like because I don't really identify that much with Gen Z, but I guess I do really like use TikTok a lot, and like I've always kind of had social media growing up.
Yeah.
Since I was in like, I guess like end of middle school, beginning of high school.
I have a very specific memory at Berklee when they came into. We were on Boylston in some kind of like classroom on Boylston, like right near the Starbucks. Is the Starbucks still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. So we were like right near the Starbucks in that like building, whatever it is. I guess it's not 270. I forget.
Is it 150?
Not 150. Like.
Or it's 921.
Maybe 921. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're getting really specific here.
Yeah. We're getting into it.
I remember someone had this like projector and they're like, guys, like soon everything is going to be an app. And they were like explaining to us what apps were. And they were like, you have to sign up for Twitter now. Like, make sure you get your handle. And we were like, what are you guys, like, what's an app? Literally. And
that's crazy.
I really feel like this happened. Like, I think that was like the first, it was like 2009-ish or something. But
okay.
Because Instagram didn't become a thing until like 2011, 12, 13 or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I learned what apps were at Berklee. They were ahead of the curve. Anyway, back to you being on tour. So, okay, so what was the artist's name again?
Casey McQuillan.
Casey. Okay, and you guys were touring Europe For 3 months.
Yep, for 3 months. So basically, yeah. So we were on 2 different tours. We were opening for 2 different artists.
Okay.
So the first 3 weeks, we were opening for this artist called Loreen. She's massive in Europe.
Wow.
Because she won this show called Eurovision.
Oh, okay. I've heard of that.
She won it twice.
Whoa.
She won it once in like 2013 or 14 or somewhere around there. And then she won it again a couple years ago. And so she is like so famous, like cult following, and she's amazing. Wow. She's so good.
It looked like from your Instagram, it looked like the venues you were playing were incredible.
They were huge. Yeah. So we were with Lorraine for the first 3 weeks, and we were actually on a tour bus, which was crazy.
Sick.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like a 2-story bus. It had like 16 beds.
Oh my gosh.
Which was like us, a lot of the like crew, engineers, like, and also there were 2 support bands on this tour. So they were also on this bus.
That is so freaking cool.
It was crazy. So that was the first 3 weeks. And then basically we left the Loreen tour halfway through to be direct support for Anastasia, who is also, she's actually American, but she is huge in Europe because her songs, she had a couple of really big songs. Probably the biggest one was called I'm Out of Love.
Okay.
And that blew up maybe like late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And blew up in the UK, Europe. And so we were on that tour for 2 months and we were in a Sprinter. In that tour, the whole thing was sold out. Like most of the Loreen dates were sold out, and they were like probably 3,000-ish venues, 3,000 cap. But the Anastasia one was like 35 dates. The whole thing was sold out. And it was from, I would say, between 3,000 and I think the biggest one that we played was like 7,000 seats.
Wow.
All sold out.
So is that theaters or some of those arenas? Because it sounds like...
Some were arenas and some were theaters. There were a few that were standing room, but most of them were like seated arena, like theater type.
That's amazing. I mean, that's really impressive. Like, you know, you're still in your 20s and you like did a legit tour.
Thanks.
Like, that's amazing.
Thank you.
And those I loved seeing your posts because those venues just looked so beautiful. So, okay, so tell me how do you get like hooked up with your friend in New York to then be a part of this whole tour? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah. So one of my booking agents here was managing her at the time. And he had like posted an Instagram story like, we need like a utility, like instrumentalist, like playback tech type thing for a tour in Europe for 3 months. And I saw it and I was like, I had never left the US, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I had never left America.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to go. And so I was like, that sounds cool. Like I'm interested. And I was like, that's never going to happen. Like, cause you know how it is. Like you try to throw your hat in the ring.
Everything is like, that's never going to happen, but I'll try.
Yeah. And so I did that and kind of forgot about it, to be honest. And then he reached out to me like a few weeks later and was like, hey, like, do you want to have a call with the artist today? And we can kind of like chat. And I was like, sure. And that went well. And then we kind of scheduled for like a Zoom audition type thing. Because she's obviously based in New York.
Oh, okay. So you were just like playing over Zoom?
Yeah. So I basically kind of like set up what would be like a little mock utility type thing. And I didn't have the playback rig. She has her playback rig. So we kind of just played along to the songs. And she really liked me and it worked out. And so then I had like I think I had like 2 days where I was like, can I think about this? Cause like, obviously, you know how it is. Like having our gigs, a lot of them are like residencies or scheduled.
Yeah. And it's kind of scary. Like I'm always scared to get off the treadmill of that because it's like, what if they don't book me again? Or like,
exactly. I was like that. And also like, that's a really long time to be gone out of Nashville. And it's like, I didn't really want people to like forget about me or like think I left. And also, this is kind of random, but very related. My dog at the time was really sick. Thank you. She had been battling lymphoma for like all of last year. And I was like who the hell is going to take care of my sick dog? Like, what am I going to do? But like, basically my community and a lot of the people that also play these gigs, like, reached out to me, and I was asking everybody, I was like, what do I do? Like, this is a crazy opportunity. Like, this is never going to happen again. Like, never. And all my friends were like, this is going to work out. Like, I had friends offering to like take my dog and watch her and like take her to her treatments. And like, it was just like my community showed up for me in a way that was like, I was like, are you guys sure? Like, are you sure?
That's so
and
cool.
Our bookers that, you know, book our gigs, like, I had a call with them and I was like, I really just want to make sure that like I'll get my gigs back because I really rely on this. And they were like, yeah, like, do your thing. Like, we'll get them covered for you. Just let us know when you're back. And
tell me about these calls, because I'm like, I've literally never had a call, and I'm like, how do you get a call?
Yeah.
Do you just text them?
Yeah, I just kind of like emailed them, and I was like, hey, like, I have like a really big opportunity, and I really want to just hop on the phone with you about it and just run some things by you.
That makes sense. No, I just like, I'm like, the people that book us, they do it all like through text and
it's
online.
all very remote.
And I've never met them in person.
Yeah.
But I love them, and I'm super grateful.
They're so great.
Well, so that's awesome that you were able to like take that 3-month period and be right back into your gigs when you got back.
Yeah. I was like, I mean, it all truly worked out so well.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. So
thanks.
So like, did you learn, give us your wisdom from your European tour. God. Like, was there anything about tour, like routines or like things that you wouldn't think of or anything? I don't know, like a favorite memory, like anything.
Yeah. I think I really shocked myself with my ability to live out of a suitcase for 3 months.
Yeah.
Because I only brought like one big suitcase and a small carry-on for 3 months, which is crazy to think about. But like, I was kind of scared about that, I guess. Like, I was like, am I going to like, is it going to be a lot? But like, I don't know. I just very quickly like adapted a routine.
Yeah.
And I guess, And also I really thought that I was going to, I thought that I was going to be more homesick for here.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously I missed it, but I was just having so much fun that like, I didn't really want it to end because I also like made so many new friends and got really close with Casey and everybody else that was like on the tour that I was like really sad to kind of like leave them and leave that environment. And I also just like, I loved truly everywhere we went to. I think we went to like 17 countries.
Wow.
And there was not a place that I didn't like. Yeah. Like, it was just so fun. So I guess like wisdom is just like, whenever those opportunities arise, that was the scariest thing I've ever done for sure. But I was like, you just have to take those opportunities.
Yeah.
Cause like that opportunity with those people at that time in my life is never going to happen again.
Yeah.
And like, now it's like, I'm back in Nashville. I have my gigs back. Like, literally today after this gig, I have my residency back.
Yeah.
Like, everybody still like is here, and like, I'm going to get back into writing and whatever. So it's just like, I don't know, like, take the opportunity. Just do it.
Totally. Yeah. That's
especially
like
now.
Once in a lifetime too.
Yeah.
I love that for you. That sounds so cool. So I think for me, my one fear is sleeping on the bus. Sleep for me is like this whole thing where it's like, I work at it, you know, like I really have trouble being a normal sleeper, but I have stopped drinking. So that has really helped. And
I'm sure.
Now it's like, I want a glass of wine, but it's like, well, do you want to sleep or do you want a glass of wine?
Yeah.
And so I just
pick one,
tend to not really drink that much ever now. But
yeah,
that has really helped. But I don't know, like, how was it sleeping bus and Sprinter?
So I definitely didn't sleep well on the bus.
Yeah.
Because for one, it was either really hot or like freezing cold. Because I was on tour from February to May, and we were on the bus in February and like early March.
Okay.
And so it was really cold out, especially when we were in like Poland and like Sweden and like Germany. Like, it was freezing. And so that was part of it. And also like, it just like moved around a lot, which sometimes like a little, you know how it is like when you're like napping in the car and sometimes it like lulls you to sleep.
Yeah.
But sometimes they would like stop to get gas or like they call it petrol, but like they would stop at like a petrol station and that would wake me up because I would be like, are we there? And I was like, no, we're not there.
Yeah.
But then it would be so confusing because in the little beds, like you have like your little curtain that you like close. And I would wake up and have absolutely no idea what time it was.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say where I was.
Or where I was. Yeah. Because we would often like wake up in a new country.
Yeah.
Because we drove overnight, like after the shows. And so I would wake up and it would be like noon. And I don't usually sleep that late. Like I'm definitely not like, I don't get up like super early, but like I'm normally up at like 7, 8, 9 maybe. But I would wake up and it would be like fully noon.
So there's not really like much of, it's hard to make a routine though.
Yes. Because, on the bus, it was really hard.
Well, that's probably good because my one least favorite, like I love my gigs. Like when I have a gig, I wish I could do like 5 a day every day, but I have to save my voice and they put me in such a good mood. I will go from like being completely depressed to like completely alive.
Like I love music.
Yeah. And I just love it. But the one thing I don't like is waiting all day to use up the most energy you're going to need is hard for me. But I feel like if you're waking up at noon, that probably helps.
Yeah. In a way it would help, but then in a way I'd also be like, I'm so like my body is so confused.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But it was definitely easier to like regulate sleep with the Sprinter because we stayed in hotels. So basically we would play the show and then we would go stay in a hotel and then we would leave the next day. Yeah. Or if we had like 2 shows in a city, like in Dublin, Ireland, we had 2 shows. No, we had 2 off days there in one show. Okay. So we essentially were in the hotel for 3 nights.
Oh, and so you got to explore a little too?
Yeah. Okay. It was really nice. We had like a decent amount of off days. Yay. Okay. I think we had something like 20 off days.
Wow. Okay.
So we had a ton of time. And also like that was easier because we would usually get to the venue like mid-afternoon and then we wouldn't really have to do anything until later. So then we could go and explore. But kind of same thing because I'm definitely like the type of person of like waiting all day to work. I don't want to like exert too much energy doing other stuff. But it was like, well, we're in Rome. So if you want to go see stuff, like you need to do it before the show. Yeah. Or you're not going to see anything. Yeah. And so that was definitely like a different thing for me too, where it's like, all right, I need to load in like all of my stuff. And then I need to go walk around Rome.
Go see Rome.
See the Vatican.
That's so cool.
And then I need to get back to the venue by 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, so I can like sound check, do my makeup, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I was really surprised at also like how much energy I had. I mean, I definitely was exhausted, but like it was just like every day, like I was like seeing like crazy stuff. Yeah. So like I so relate to that though, because I'm like, I'm not about to go like run around and do a ton of stuff like before my gig.
Yeah. You want to stay busy. You don't want to exert too much of yourself. But yeah, I guess I'm just like waiting to work until, I mean, because your day will go from like a normal day to like a 16-hour day because you got up at 7 and you've been working all day and then you have a gig. So that's like my one thing. But the fact that you guys explored, I feel like is kind of rare because a lot of people will say, oh, you never get to see anything. You're just in the van and then at the venue and then playing and then repeat. But that's good that you guys had some time.
Yeah. That's it was easier on the Sprinter because it was just the 4 of us. Yeah. And we would be staying the night. Yeah. Whereas on the bus, it was like, all right, well, we got to leave because we need to drive overnight. Yeah. So it's like, we're going. Yeah. You know? But yeah, it was really cool. Definitely on the bus, I don't think I got to see quite as much. But even then, though, we would get there at like 1, 2. Yeah. But then I would have to like shower because there was no shower on the bus. So I'd have to like go in the venue and like shower. Oh, yeah. So it was harder to see stuff. But the Sprinter, I definitely had more time to like get off. And
cool. I love you had that experience. So you should do the Berklee Nashville trip and tell all the students how you got that gig and stuff. Because I think people would be curious to know. Like, I know they have the Berklee Career Network and all that stuff. I don't utilize anything alumni wise that I should be. Do you ever?
I do. Sometimes I haven't done the Nashville trip yet, But I flew back. They flew me back a couple years ago to do Career Jam.
Oh, cool.
Which is like a new thing that they've been doing.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of that.
They did the first one like my junior year, I think.
Okay.
And basically, they fly in alumni, they fly in like just music industry professionals, and they'll have like one really big guest. Like I think the year that I did it, it was Donald Glover, Childish Gambino.
Wow. Okay.
Which was really, really, really cool. And sometimes I'll do like when they have like the Nashville like local alumni things, I'll come for those, but I haven't done anything for the Nashville trip. Yeah, I think Pattison actually texted me in March, but I was on tour, so I was like,
well, you should do next year.
I'm in Italy
because people will be like, oh my god.
Yeah, I definitely want to.
I just think that's such a cool experience, and like the fact that you had never been to Europe and got to see 17 countries at once is like, that's pretty rare.
Great, like even saying it now, I'm like, wait, what? Like
that's so neat.
I definitely haven't like processed everything yet.
Yeah, but that's so cool.
Yeah.
When you were in school, like other than Donald Glover from Childish Gambino, or that's his name.
Yeah.
Who was like the coolest artist they brought in when you were in school?
Man, that's hard. Probably one time, I think it was actually for that Career Jam thing while I was still a student. They brought Susan Tedeschi.
Oh, cool.
Tedeschi?
I think it's Tedeschi.
Susan
Or Tedeschi. I say both. It's so funny.
I feel like I say both.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm sorry, Susan. I'm butchering your name, but
I do the same thing.
Yeah, they brought her to talk to us, and it was like a very small group of students because they had like, it was a thing where they had like a bunch of really cool people.
Yeah.
But they were all from like, some of them were from like the music business and some of them were more like production. And so it like divided all the students up really nicely. So it wasn't like everything was like slammed for one person. But I remember, honestly, I don't even remember everything that she said, but I just remember like her presence and like her aura and like how I felt around her. And she was just so sweet. And like, I don't know, you just, like if you didn't know who she was, you would just never know that she's such a like rock star, because she just had this like calming, like almost like motherly, like very wise presence about her. And she was just so sweet.
That's awesome.
And so nice. And I remember I talked to her afterwards, and I don't even know what I said, but she was just so sweet and smiley. And it was just really cool to like see somebody who is like so massive and talented, like just come and talk to us and answer our questions. And I just remember that being really cool. And I have a really sweet picture with her too. And she just is like cheesing next to me, and like, it was really cute. So
yeah, I think like
really cool.
It's because as a musician, sometimes it seems like such a pipe dream to people and to me. Like even sometimes now I'm like, what am I doing? But
totally.
Like it's neat to see and meet people who have like a range of careers. Like John Mayer was there when I went to school, and
amazing.
Not that I went to school with him, but he came and spoke. And so it's like people like John Mayer status, and then it's people like making a great living, but not as famous as John Mayer. And I think it's important to see that you can make a living doing this and see like a range. Because when I was first getting out of school, my expectations were really high, too high, and like it kind of messed with my mental health, especially like 25, 26. I think by 28 I was evening out, but I think the expectations on musicians to be super successful, super young, and only really hearing stories about, you know, like T Swift or Katy Perry is hard to be trying to find your way. So I think seeing people in all different versions of a career making a living is important. I wish I had gotten more of that actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like Livingston Taylor taught. Did he teach?
He did. Yeah. I took his class.
That was cool to like get him as a teacher. That's James Taylor's brother. But yeah, I think seeing more people that were like working musicians would have been helpful too.
Yeah. I feel that so much. Like, and even for me, like when I was on this tour, I was just thinking like, man, like, how lucky am I to like be having an experience? Like I'm on a major label tour, but I can like go out and explore.
Yeah.
Like, and if you're, you know, Taylor Swift or Sabrina Carpenter or even like Tate McRae, like you kind of can't really do that.
Yeah.
Which obviously they're playing insane shows and they have massive careers and they're doing so much cool stuff. But like, I felt really grateful in a way that I was like able to go be a tourist.
Yeah.
But also like I was still in a way like doing the same thing. Like we're like, I feel like we are doing the same thing that so many of these really big successful people are doing, but we also get to like have a normalcy that like they don't have. So there is like a beauty to it.
Definitely.
In a way.
That's good that you recognize that too at this point because you're still super young.
Yeah, I don't think I could have possibly understood that before this tour.
Yeah.
Because it was just so eye-opening. Like, even like, I remember like after a lot of the shows, especially on the first tour with Loreen, because she's Eurovision, like went 2-time winner. Like, it's insane. And people would just wait outside, massive throngs of people.
And so she couldn't.
Just to get a glimpse of her like walking from the venue to the bus at like 1 a.m. And it's like, that is like the middle of the night. Like, imagine if you just like tried to walk outside to like she can't even leave her dressing room.
Security and stuff?
Yeah, totally. Okay. And I can just like walk out and be like, I'm gonna go do whatever.
That's super nice.
And like,
see, and I feel like there's no VH1 behind the music of that.
Even then, like, we still would get recognized.
Really?
Like by some like super fans that came to like multiple shows and stuff like that. But it's very like normal. Like, because obviously we're not Loreen, like we're not Anastasia, like we're not like some huge artist.
Yeah.
So it was much more like normal interactions, which was really sweet. But
that's what I was gonna comment on is like even when I'm downtown, so we get booked by the same people downtown, and like I didn't do downtown gigs for a long time because there was sort of like not a stigma, but it was just sort of like, oh, I can only play in clubs where I'm playing originals. I'm not going to play covers. Like I was really adamant about that, and that was kind of like the way of thinking for a long time.
Totally.
But now that I'm playing covers and originals downtown, sometimes I'll come home from a gig. There's no better feeling than like coming home from doing the thing you like to do and like being home in time for dinner. I just feel so grateful sometimes that I get to do this. And it's like, I'm not even touring. I think if anything touring wise comes up, like I get to open for someone and I still like have hope that'll happen, but I like what I'm doing. I feel really grateful that I get to do it, you know? And I never thought I would feel that way playing downtown.
Totally. I feel that. I feel like also when I first moved here, I've been here for almost 6 years now. And I was like, I'm not playing downtown. Like, so I don't want to do that.
Yeah. What was the
same? Because
I feel like artist friends of mine who are like further along than me or have more fans or streams or whatever, people look at it a certain way. And I know they do. Yeah. And I'm like, you have no idea. Like, this is awesome. And you're missing out.
Yeah.
You know, totally. I have so much respect for everybody who does that and newfound respect too, because I do it. And I love the people that book us. And I feel like it's a little family, even though I never see anybody. But even like the changeover, like musicians, so nice. It's 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like new musicians are coming in. You get to meet people.
And that's how I met you.
I know.
Like officially met Matt.
That's how I've met so many people. And I love it. I think it's really special and cool. Yeah. I just think seeing musicians making a career at any level, just learning about that, it kind of demystifies what it is. Yeah. And it kind of demystifies the stepping stones of like, okay, like Stacey, you're playing downtown, but oh my God, you got this opportunity. And it's like making it all work. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, literally this tour came from the fact that I was playing downtown. Because it was my booking agent.
Your booking agent. Different booking agent or same?
Different booking agent. Yeah. Who I'll tell you about because he's also really awesome. Shout out Nick Howard. But he's really, really great. And he was literally the one that knew about the tour. And amazing. So if I had not been playing downtown, I wouldn't have met him. And
there you go. And people
seen it.
People don't know what goes on and on. The other day I was at the W. And this producer I have loved since I was a kid
was there.
And he came up to me. I felt like shit that day, but He came up to me and I looked up and he handed me $100 bill. And he was like, I like your voice. And I was like, you're John Shanks. And I was like, oh my God, like I used to watch you on MTV and like.
Wait, that's so cute.
He was like, yeah, I'm here working with John Bon Jovi. And I was like,
you were like, what?
Like, I think I probably emailed him, like cold emailed him as a kid or something. Like, he was just someone I always loved. And like to be there at the W in the restaurant playing in a corner and like people don't realize, you just never know. I have run into some people and I don't know, like who knows where it'll lead, but it's just, I don't know. I just love it. Like I love playing downtown. It's fun.
It's great to stay connected and just feel like you're in it, like you're part of the scene. I feel like whenever I'm playing, I'm like, okay, like it's almost like you're networking even when you're just on stage, like playing by yourself.
Yeah. And you're just getting better.
Yeah.
Like I have to be careful because sometimes I overbook myself and then I'm like, shoot guys, like I need to cancel. I can't sing for 4 hours today. I sang like, like a bunch of gigs this week and
for sure.
I run into problems with that, but I just love it so much. I get addicted. It's a blast playing downtown. And I feel like I am getting better and I probably judged it when I first moved here.
Oh yeah, me too. I did too. Totally.
Anyway, okay, so where does that leave us? These are like my final questions for you.
Okay.
You already had like a dream career moment, like going on tour in Europe. Awesome. Do you have any other, as a solo artist, dreams or writing dreams? Because you said you're getting more into like writing for other people. Like dream opening act. Like what are your goals in the future?
Yeah, I guess now that I'm back in town, immediate goals are kind of just like getting back to writing, recording new stuff. I mean, I have a ton of new stuff that's not out yet, but like to me, it's not new anymore because it's done,
I know.
So working on my own new stuff. Writing for other people some more. I really want to I'm really trying to sign a publishing deal or like some sort of like a management deal because I really want to start like building a team. And like, I feel like I definitely have like a creative team. Like I have people that I love to produce with and people I love to write with and people that are amazing, like photographers and videographers and my band and all that stuff. But I feel like on the business side, I really want to try and like build that up a little bit more. So that's kind of like what I'm really trying to focus on right now and probably like the rest of this year. But I guess I would love to tour again, like for myself. Like it would be really cool to open for someone. My dream opening act is I would love to open for Casey Musgraves. I take so much inspiration from her and oh my gosh, I've seen her out around town a lot. Like recently.
Oh, really? Oh, because you're in East.
I'm in East.
She probably hangs there, I think.
Yeah, and I think she also lives over there.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Okay.
But I've seen her out a lot, and I adore her. I would love.
She has like all different genres open for her.
She's amazing. Yeah, I could talk about her forever. But I would love to open for her. But yeah, I would love to like be an opening act on like a little indie tour. Dream of mine is to play at the Basement East here in town. That's like a dream venue.
Have you played OG Basement yet?
I have.
Okay.
I love playing there
that's
too.
Your next stop.
Yeah. But I guess I really just want to keep trying to like build my artist project and writing for other people and just kind of keep climbing the ladder, I guess.
The corporate ladder of
the corporate ladder.
Music.
Yeah.
So wait, publishing deal wise, is it pop for you or do you want to focus on pop or like do you want to?
I write a lot of country like for other artists, but also like my stuff, I would say probably leans more pop than country. But really either, I guess. Cool. Yeah. I probably would be more pop, but I really love the country space. And I feel like the way that I write, like in my writing style leans more country, I think, cause I'm very focused on like the story.
Yeah.
And like hooks. And I feel like that's really big in country, but either really.
Okay. I guess one of my last questions is, I always like to shout out other artists. So like who is there another up and coming artist that you're a fan of that like people might not know about? Songwriter, producer, whoever.
I'm going to shout out two of my friends that also play at this venue that we both play at, the 1230 Club. My my friend Brandon Ellis.
Okay.
He's amazing. I play duo sets with him pretty often. He's like the craziest singer, craziest guitar player. And he actually let me borrow his keyboard when I went on tour. I used his keyboard.
How nice.
Which is really, really sweet.
That's really generous.
I know.
That thing had to fly.
Yes. He let me use his Nord and his flight case, which was really sweet, but he's amazing. He's got tunes out. And then my other friend that also plays at the 1230 Club, her name's Rachel Horder.
Okay.
She plays after me on Sundays, and she plays like Fridays and Saturdays and sometimes Thursdays. And her whole band are really incredible. And she's got a bunch of amazing songs. And I think her and Brandon are also working on more music right now. Okay. So Rachel Horder and Brandon Ellis, love you guys. Awesome. They're amazing.
I have been thinking, like, I want to go watch other people because I want to add some pedals and like some more going on. And I want to see like what other people are doing to see if like, oh, could I add that? But
totally.
Okay. So that's good to know.
Yeah.
So, okay. And so where can everyone go find your music and find you?
Yeah. So my social media, I am Stacey Kelleher, Stacey with an E. On Instagram, TikTok, I'm just at Stacey Kelleher. And then all my music's on all the platforms. Okay. Just Stacey Kelleher. Yeah.
Hey, well, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me. This was so much fun.
And thanks for your patience with my camera setup.
Oh my gosh.
In my 30s.